All right, guys, it appears there was another assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump's life. This happened Sunday. This is crazy. I can't believe this again. I have this press conference here that I do want to go ahead and bring in here from MSNBC. Again, there was a second assassination attempt on Donald Trump's life. This was not at a Trump rally or event. Apparently, this was at the Trump golf course. He was golfing. Let's go ahead and get into this press conference here.
From the state attorney's office, we are going to give you everything we have. Everything. All right? So when we get done, think about your questions, because we're not going to take a lot. And keep them to the information that you heard. Don't get into what ifs, and because of this, we're not going to go there, all right? So keep that in mind, and we'll be good. So here we go. All right, 1:30 this afternoon. Call came out, shots fired. That was called in by the Secret Service. Because we're in constant contact with them all the time, we were notified of that, and we had units here that immediately sealed off the area. Fortunately, we were able to locate a witness that came to us and said, hey, I saw the guy running out of the bushes. He jumped into a black Nissan, and I took a picture of the vehicle and the tag, which was.
So there were shots that already did, ring out, just FYI. But just to clear things up here, because I know this story is still kind of breaking, none of those shots hit Donald Trump, but the shooter did attempt, right? So it's another attempted assassination.
Great. So we had that information. Our real-time crime center put it out to the license plate readers. And we were able to get a hit on that vehicle on I-95 as it was headed into Martin County. We got a hold of Martin County Sheriff's Office, alerted them, and they spotted the vehicle and pulled it over and detained the guy. After that, we took the witness that witnessed the incident, flew him up there, and he identified as the person that he saw running out of the bushes and jumped into the car. Now, in the bushes where this guy was is a AK-47 style rifle with a scope, 2 backpacks which were hung on the fence that had ceramic tile in them, and a GoPro, which he was going to take pictures of.
So it sounds like the shooter was going to either live stream this event or just take pictures of the event. GoPro, for those who don't know, it's there's a little video camera called GoPro. It's very tiny, and sometimes people use it to vlog. So it sounds like he was going to try to stream this event or capture pictures of the event. Yeah, definitely not right in the head.
So those are being processed right now. The Secret Service agent that was on the course did a fantastic job. What they do is they have an agent that jumps one hole ahead of time to where the president was at. And he was able to spot this rifle barrel sticking out of the fence and immediately engage that individual, at which time the individual took off. So that's what we know about the investigation. We have somebody in custody right now that is a potential suspect. We got a little bit more work to do on it. But as we usually do, as soon as we decide that we're going to book him into the county jail and the charges that he's going to be booked into, we'll get those to you and we'll get a picture of him and we'll get you his background. So now I'm going to turn it over to the representative of the Secret Service, and he's going to make a brief statement.
By the way, yes, the gentleman's name that attempted to assassinate Donald Trump is Ryan Wesley Ruth. And apparently we'll get into a little bit more information about him after we hear from Secret Service. But yeah, they do have him in custody. So this is different from the first attempt where the shooter was killed. In this situation, the shooter is still alive. So who knows? They may be able to get more information out of him as to why he decided to do this, or if someone else paid him to do this, if someone put him up to it. There is a connection between him and Ukraine, which we'll get into as well. But the interesting thing about this particular incident is that the shooter is still alive.
Good afternoon, everyone. I first want to thank all of our law enforcement partners, to include the Palm Beach Sheriff's Office and the Martin County Sheriff's Office, for their involvement today. Former President Donald Trump is safe and unharmed following a protective incident shortly before 2 p.m. on Sunday at Trump International Golf Club at West Palm Beach. The U.S. Secret Service personnel opened fire on a gunman located near the property line, and this matter is under investigation. I'll turn it over to my partners over at the FBI.
Yeah, so you guys can see this is escalated to the FBI, of course.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jeffrey Veltri. I'm the special agent in charge of the FBI's Miami field office. The FBI has assumed the role as the lead federal law enforcement agency in the investigation of the incident that occurred earlier today at Trump International Golf Course here in West Palm Beach, Florida. We've deployed a number of resources, including the investigative teams, crisis response team members, bomb technicians, and evidence response team members as well. What we need right now is for the public to avoid the area around the golf course. We will continue to support this investigation with the full resources of the FBI, alongside our partners with the United States Secret Service and the Palm Beach Sheriff's Office, as well as Martin County Sheriff's Office and state and local law enforcement. I would ask that if anyone has any information that may assist with this investigation, to contact our tip line at 1-800-CALL-FBI or at tips, that's TIPS .fbi.gov. Thank you.
David?
Okay, so that was the press conference on Sunday, and I want to go ahead and bring up a little bit more information about the shooter. One of the things that I noticed is that apparently this shooter was heavily supportive of Ukraine, so much to the point that he was willing to help recruit people to fight for Ukraine. So let's go ahead and bring up a couple of those pictures here on social media. By the way, his Twitter account has been suspended. It says here, Secret Service agents who were one hole ahead of Trump noticed the suspect while scoping out the area. So let's get into this a little bit here. This is a picture of the suspected shooter here. Again, this is Ryan Wesley Ruth. I want to go to another picture.
In custody right now, Palm Beach Sheriff.
Pausing this for just a second. This is the Trump International Golf Club. So this is where the incident occurred. And then here's another picture of him. Now, this is from his former account. Like I said, his account is now suspended. It says in DC and Kyiv to provide soldiers for the war effort. So this is someone that was, heavily in support of Ukraine, or at least wanted to help Ukraine, try to win this war. And I told you guys multiple times before, Ukraine is not going to win the war, which is really obvious to anyone who understands how powerful Russia is. But someone that was on that side of things. Now, why is that important? That's important because there's a number of times that Donald Trump has said that he wants to end the war with Russia and Ukraine. He said he would do it on day one. It would be over. Now, we can disagree or choose to agree on certain things. Do we know for sure that he would actually do that? No, we really don't. But he has said that he would, and he said it multiple times. So this is someone who is in favor of Ukraine. So it could be that the reason why he targeted Donald Trump is because he does not want Donald Trump to become president, because he doesn't want him to end the war in Ukraine. That's just an assumption. I don't really know for sure, for certain, right? Now, here's another picture here, or a tweet that he made in 2020. Real Donald Trump, while you were my choice in I think he means 2016. Yeah, that must be a typo. I and the world hoped that the President Trump would be different and better than the candidate, but we all were greatly disappointed. And it seems you are getting worse and devolving. Are you retarded? I will be glad when you are gone. So that was June of 2020. This is where he started to turn against Trump. So again, this is someone that apparently supported Donald Trump in 2016, but then changed his mind and his opinion about him as we moved into 2020. So I think we'd be rightfully to assume he probably did not vote for him in 2020. But then there's something else here too that I thought was interesting. We don't really know where we can place him on a political spectrum, because it appears here Ryan Ruth voted for Trump, donated to Tulsi Gabbard, Andrew Yang, Tom Steyer, Beto O'Rourke, Elizabeth Warren, and then has tweets like this yearning for Nikki Haley and Vivek Ramaswamy. So this guy seems to be kind of all over the place on the political lane. He said, please join Nikki Haley, please join Vivek Ramaswamy as a team of president and VP. We must do this now to create a winning ticket now that we all can get behind. Please do not be selfish and arrogant. Partner now to change the course of this election, break norms, and give us an option. This was tweeted in January 8th of this year. So as you can see, we can't really say this guy's a Republican or a Democrat, because he has donated to Elizabeth Warren, Beto O'Rourke, but also, was pushing Nikki Haley and Vivek Ramaswamy, also supported Donald Trump in 2016. So he seems to kind of be all over the place on the political spectrum. Here's another one here I want to point out to you. Suspected Trump shooter is Ryan Ruth. His social media is replete with psychotic pro-Ukraine messaging. He traveled there recently, and I want to show you this tweet here from 2022. I am willing to fly to Ukraine and die for its people, and everyone around the globe should do the same. Come on, people. So that was in 2022. So again, a staunch Ukraine supporter here. And apparently it sounds like, I don't know if there was some type of mental issues with him, but it sounds like it was to the point where it kind of consumed quite a bit of his time. More information was just released 53 minutes ago, and I do want to add this to the screen here. Suspected gunman charged in apparent Trump assassination attempt. So he has officially been charged. And it says here, let's go to the big picture. He has been charged with 2 gun counts at his initial appearance in federal court on Monday in Florida. So 2 gun counts here. The big picture, Ryan Ruth had an extensive criminal history before the Sunday incident at Trump's West Palm Beach Golf Club, which the FBI is investigating as an attempted assassination of the former president. Secret Service agent spouted the rifle. We know that story, etc. It goes on to say here, he was taken into custody on the highway about 45 miles north of Trump International Golf Club after a witness provided a picture of his license plate and vehicle to law enforcement. Here's the latest. It says that he formerly lived in Greensboro, North Carolina, but at some point relocated to Hawaii. He was charged with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon and possession of a firearm with an obliterated serial number. So he's a convicted felon. He appeared before Magistrate Judge Ryan M. McCabe. Officials said he could face up to 15 years in prison if convicted on the first charge and possibly 5 years if convicted on the second. During the hearing, he said he was working and bringing in around $3,000 a month, but had no savings. Now, the weapon in question, authorities found an AK-47 style rifle with a scope, 2 backpacks. And again, I told you guys about the GoPro in the bushes. It goes on to say here, Ruth is being held in a federal holding facility. At that point in time, he was not talking. At the end of the day, the system worked, he said, noting that Ruth did not get any rounds off. Bradshaw said law enforcement is investigating whether Ruth had a place he was staying locally. This is not like what happened in Butler, he emphasized. As soon as he saw that barrel, he took action right that minute, referring to Secret Service personnel there. Several outlets, including the New York Times and Semaphore, had interviewed Routh in the past about his efforts to help Ukraine in its war against Russia. He characterized the conflict as evil against good in a 2022 interview with Newsweek, Romania. His son, speaking to CNN, described him as a loving and caring father. Isn't it interesting? Everyone's always described as loving and caring, or what's my favorite from the people in the neighborhood when they say, we would have never imagined they would do such a thing. Goes on to say, Routh had posted online statements that he indicated he was a Trump supporter in 2016, but he later expressed support for Nikki Haley, Vivek Ramaswamy. He also applauded Tulsi Gabbard, etc. Notice the information that they left out that I included. They didn't mention that he supported Elizabeth Warren and also Beto O'Rourke. And I think that's on purpose. That's to make it seem as though this is just some crazy, radical, right-wing, lunatic nut job of a dude, and not giving you that other information so you can see that, oh, this guy was kind of all over the place with his political ideology. And he also supported Democrats as well. So notice how they left that out. Records indicate that Routh voted in North Carolina Democratic primary in March and made more than a dozen small donations to Act Blue. But again, notice they don't tell you who he donated to, right? So that's just something there to keep in mind. What is coming up next? A bond hearing was set for September 23rd, and an arraignment or probable cause hearing has been scheduled for September 30th. So again, breaking news, guys. I couldn't go live yesterday because I'm pretty busy on Sunday. But breaking news, this is crazy. A second attempt to assassinate Donald Trump. And here's the thing. I'm not a Donald Trump supporter, but I don't think you have to be a Trump supporter to look around and see that someone or something does not want him to be in this race. Crazy times, crazy times.